What up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rounds with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first-time listener, I appreciate you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, I want you to reach over and give them a crisp high five. But if you're not in the general vicinity, take your social media app of choice and craft them a well thought out DM, not a nasty one. You don't want to slide in there awkward. You know, I know how some of y'all get. I mean, we just passed Valentine's Day, so some of y'all probably still sliding, or you caught up with the motherfucker DM that you slide in earlier to set this shit up for Valentine's Day, or it's the day after, to where homegirl Keisha from the Libra Lounge said that this way you either take your wife out or your side chick because you're doing shit with your side chick or your wife on Valentine's Day. So the day after is the day that you do either one proper.
Day before, but day after.
Either or. That's what she was saying. She's like, either you take your side chick out the day before or your wife out the day before because you're going to be with your main on Valentine's Day, or the day after. Either or.
Okay.
It's confusing.
So side chick could be the 13th or the 15th.
Yeah, or your wife could be the 14th or the 15th, depending on your priority.
Wow.
How, Sway? I don't know. That's just what they're throwing out there. But in any case, send them that DM and tell them thank you for recommending you to me. And speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rounds of Rob on many platforms, to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, Facebook.com/3R Show, and doing things with the YouTube now. So look for 3R Show on YouTube. And for everything that I may have missed, go to randomrob.com. Now, got all that shit out the way, and you heard them a little bit, but joining me, I have guests, more than one, plural, two.
Woo!
And we met in the flesh, in person, at the J1Con this past year, because it's a new year now. And
it is.
I was enlightened by the brain power that we got going on in this podcast, because motherfucker got degrees and shit. You know, I ain't talking about Fahrenheit and all this other motherfucker shit. But joining me here, as I look at him to my left and my right, just looking handsome as fuck. Aquaman over here, Moana type motherfucker. Then we got you over there.
No, that's fine. That's
you see how I did that, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's how y'all go to your show goes. It's like, yeah, build me up, fucking internet beast, motherfucker. And he's like, hey, I'm here.
Hey, guys.
But joining me is Nick, and God damn it, Ramon. There you go. I'm about to call you like Roman Reigns in this bitch too.
That is a cosplay for you later.
Yeah, that could be.
What's going from? I called you Roman anyway. From the Garbled Podcast. I can't get it out.
What's going on, folks?
What's up? You fucking me up. I get to see you people now, and you're making me laugh. Anyway,
good. Then we're doing our job.
Yeah, we're doing our job. Yeah.
Garbled Podcast. If you're watching this, you can see it all over the place, so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did branding.
Oh, and he's got a. You can. He's wearing the Garbled Podcast.
I'm wearing
shirt.
a wrinkled shirt.
Yeah. I didn't wear mine, but
yeah. But you fill it out well, so I mean the wrinkles aren't non-existent. There you go.
Thank you.
You're puffing up your chest.
I'll just try and sit like this the rest of the. Nope, it's not gonna work.
Not happening.
Get comfortable. But man, gentlemen, I appreciate you giving me your time and joining me and whatnot.
No,
I mean, how are
you? Because when we met up at J1Con, you kind of enlightened us. As much as you want to say there's a lot of brain power over here, you kind of enlightened us to some things. So, thank you.
Yes.
Word. So, I feel awkward getting praise. I appreciate it, but I just feel awkward because I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything extra. Mm-hmm. So that's why I kind of feel awkward to me. But I mean, there's been a trend lately. I gotta go ahead and pop my collar and brush my shoulders off. You know, motherfuckers thanking me for shit. So yeah, I appreciate it.
You're doing good work, man. You gotta learn to take that compliment.
Yeah. I guess so. It was weird. Like when I was in the military, people be like, "Thank you for your service," and I'd be like, thanks. You're welcome, I guess. I volunteered to do it, so I mean.
I was going to ask you how you handle that.
Oh, at first it was just like, just how I was saying, it was just, all right.
Because that's a relatively new thing that they started doing. Maybe I would say, what was that? Like right after 9/11, right? Like people started going out of their way to thank people for their service.
Going out of their way, yes. I think it was a thing, but it was definitely the going out of the way part.
See, my dad's a veteran too, and hanging out with him and everything, he kind of hit me to the game of what to say, so I wouldn't feel as awkward or whatever. But somebody came up to us. He always wears a veteran hat and whatnot, and they'll come up to him to be like, "Thank you for your service," and he'd be like, "Thank you for your support." And I'm like, "Oh,
nice."
I said that makes so much sense. Yep. So I don't feel as awkward anymore when somebody say it, because now I flash back to when my pop said that, and I just be like, "Thank you for your support."
With the finger guns?
Do you do the finger guns?
It just depends on how I'm feeling. You know, sometimes I'll be like, "Thank you for support," and then I go run off into Walmart and do what I was doing. Or, you know, if I'm, you know, just casual chilling out and, you know.
You can't always be on. You have to pick and choose. Definitely.
Yeah. I got to keep it random.
I like what you did there.
So, man, season 3 of your show here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You was just blessed by the patron saint of the Garbled Podcast, Dan Dinkins.
Yes.
And is this season 3 as in marking the 3rd year, or y'all take breaks in between?
We this time around, I think we took a month.
Yeah, we only a couple weeks really, 2-3 weeks to kind of collect and come back strong. But it's not the 3rd year. Our first season, we didn't have a concept of seasons, so we were just doing the podcast, and then we were trying to think of something new to do, and that's where season 2 came from. Just because we were just marking a random page in our history. But we did, I guess season 1 encompasses like 2.
It's like a year and a half.
It's a year and a half?
It's like a year and a half, yeah. So season 1.
I have no concept of time.
Season 1 was a journey for us because, like I said, we started out, and how we got to 52 episodes, I don't know. Like, I'm still... And it's
considering
actually...
our first... 16 episodes were lost episodes?
Yeah, because I was doing a lot of research into like the whole podcasting thing, and one of the things that I read was when you come out with a new podcast,
you should have a couple episodes in the bank.
Exactly, because people, if they really like what they're listening to, they want to listen to. They don't want to wait another week. So if you have like 4 or 5 episodes, so I was like, well, let's try to get like 10. And we'll call them lost episodes, right? Yeah. And go with that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we solved all of the world's problems within those first episodes. So we didn't have really a lot of places to go after that. So the first season was really experimental, trying to figure out our voice and trying to figure out where to go from there.
Okay. So, I mean, I sit here and I look at these 2 handsome gentlemen across from me and whatnot. I mean,
I was included that time.
Via the internet, of course. Oh. But how did these interesting individuals that I sit across from come together to form the Garbled Podcast?
We met in college. We won't name the college because fuck them.
Kind of.
They got my money. That's it. That's all you get.
That's where the relationship ends.
And Sally Mae.
No, we met in college, and funny enough, we kind of hit it off like almost instantaneously.
Yep, almost got arrested together.
Yeah.
That was.
Whoa! We don't even need to go any further. What's that?
You want the story on that?
Yeah. We'll get back to the other shit later. How we go to jail? Because I frequent a jail once for 7 hours, and I didn't enjoy that.
Well,
so
we didn't actually make it into the jail.
Yeah, no, we actually thought better of it ourselves and ceased and desist.
We were both in a fight choreography class with swords. And we were both huge fans of Highlander.
And we're in Philadelphia, and
we both had trench coats.
We both had. We both happened to own trench coats and have access to Broad Street.
And and swords, and we had access to swords. That's important.
So we decided, you know, it would be epic, just epic, if we had a sword fight in the middle of Broad Street where there's this giant median.
Island medium.
So we were like, we could just go out there and have a sword fight, and everybody in the traffic would just see people going at it like it was Highlander. And we made it almost to the street.
No. We had the swords in hand.
We were in the steps.
We're on the steps, and then we looked at each other, and we're like, oh, no, we're going to go to jail for this shit.
Yeah, wait. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of foresight on your end. Just to be like, think better of it.
We got down 2 flights of stairs before we made that decision. We were going for...
See, it would have been more tame if you had those, I'm doing air quotes, professional lightsabers that they'd be dueling with and shit. Mm-hmm. That would have been more, because you would have had like a red one and a blue one. I'd just be like, pew, pew, pew. And people would be like, oh, that's pretty cool. And you more than likely wouldn't have got arrested.
That's where we went wrong.
Yeah.
It was lightsabers.
It was also like early 2000s, so I don't know if those lightsabers were accessible.
Yeah, the only one you would have probably had was like the one with the flashlight and the little extendable plastic and shit.
Yeah.
Thwap.
Yeah, that would have probably broken like the first couple of swings and shit.
Yeah, he's very heavy-handed, so yes.
Yeah, I would have shattered the thing.
Were they real swords, or was it just like props?
They were stage swords, so they looked like the real thing.
So the difference between a real sword and a sword for stage combat is when you're fighting in real life, the object is to hit the person, not the sword, right? But when you're actually fighting on stage or on screen, the object is to hit the other guy's sword. So they actually make the swords for stage combat way denser so that they don't shatter. And so they're very heavy in comparison to a regular sword. Even though they're dull, they can just still do some damage and would still absolutely be considered a weapon in the eyes of
the
a
mallet.
Police.
Big ass mallet.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Just whomp.
We were going to do that at the middle of rush hour. Yeah. So
we're walking out at like 5, and we're like, oh wait, no.
Now that you say that, and I've driven around the Philly area going down to J1Con and shit, yeah, you would have went to jail regardless if you had lightsabers or not, because motherfuckers in rush hour were just like, get these motherfuckers out the street.
Well, it would have been in the island, so...
Yeah, but somebody would have been watching and rear-ended the guy in front of them.
Yeah,
it would have been a bad scene.
Somebody would have rubbernecked, and we would have been the cause of the accident.
To jail. Jail you would have went.
Do not pass go.
And I live here in Houston, which is on the verge of being the 3rd largest city in the United States.
Oh, I thought it was.
It might be now. When I got here, it was on the verge. But shit, I mean, I was telling you where I worked at prior to or whatever. So with all that encompassing, I see so many every day. I mean, hell, we might be the 3rd and 2nd largest in this bitch too. So, but I was sitting there and I forgot my thought. So back to how you guys met again.
No worries. So we actually lost touch after college
for about 10 years.
Yeah, for a little while, and then randomly.
Oh, wait! This is important. Because I used to shave my head bald.
Yes.
In college. I used to ritually shave my head bald because I was worried that I was going to go bald. So I was like, let me get some practice.
You were preempting it.
I was preempting it.
But also, and I think this played into it, and he may not admit it, but you remember the movie The Matrix?
Yes.
Okay. So this gentleman right here would shave his head and owned a pair of sunglasses that only clipped to his nose.
Orpheus.
I was Orpheus.
Yeah. For copyright reasons.
I was Orpheus.
And
see, that's still copyrighted because that's in one of those scary movies.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, well,
the statute of limitations is way up on that, I'm sure, at this point.
Copyright, whoever bought it from the Wayans brothers.
There you go. But, I had, and I used to grow out my hair I had it
over here.
I had it at the center of my back by the time I finally gave up and cut it off. So we in the time that we were not we did not have contact, when we met back up, we had switched almost entirely.
Oh,
our hairstyles. It was insane.
So I think we can tell this part. Like,
Yeah.
our exes, we're best friends with one another.
oh, I'm
And-
sorry.
No.
No, it's fine. Hey, it happens. But our exes were really good friends with they're best friends, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're meeting up with a friend tonight, and her boyfriend goes to the same college that you went to." And it's like, "Oh, okay, what's his name?" "Oh, wait, I know a Nick. I remember Nick, long hair, right?" And he's like, "No."
No, he shaves his head.
No, he doesn't have long.
Yeah, he shaves his head. And your reaction was, I don't know him. And my reaction, same conversation. He has dreads. Oh, I don't know him then. That's funny because I knew a Ramon in college. I definitely did know a Ramon. If we must not have gone at the same time.
Right. So we show up completely expecting different people because at this point, and it turned out to be him.
Yeah.
And we've been best friends ever since.
Yep. And how we got to the podcast was we would sit around and we would drink and we would, solve the world problems that were
Kinda
out
like you
there.
doing.
As you do. You gain a certain opinion when you've been drinking. And
Yes.
yeah, and you voice it, and we would work some things out, and we said for how many years did we say?
At least 4 or 5 years.
We said we should record this, and then like podcasting became a thing.
Well, but the thing that kind of stopped us was like, who the hell wants to listen to two people just randomly going at it, And
I said that 4 years ago.
right?
Right, and that's the thing. It was like, well, who would want to listen to this? And next thing you know, podcasting is like exploding on the scene.
And we're like, oh, maybe there is a market for this. All right, let's at least have the conversations because we love them, and then record them and see what happens.
And then it became like therapy almost.
Yeah.
I don't. For me, anyway. Like, because I come to this and we'll sit down, we'll have that conversation. It's like, all right, I feel better now. Like, I got out my week's worth of frustrations.
Yeah. And I look at it like that as well. I mean, people come here and they just get a lot of shit off their chests and they feel better after the fact. And then, I think that's pretty fucking cool.
And I'm reclining on a couch right now, so,
Exactly. I mean, you're just chilling, just being comfortable. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be straight up and upfront with you like I do with every guest, and
Okay.
that's how you should just as a human being. I did not listen to season 2.
Okay.
And the reason I did not listen to season 2 is because you was covering shit that I hadn't watched yet, and I didn't want no goddamn spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Season 2 is definitely way more pop culture, I think, than like season 1 that was more issues and like we went political way more. Not that we didn't in season 2. There's an episode in season 2 where we went through every single Democratic candidate. There's like 20 of them. And we attributed them to Marvel characters so that people could kind of figure out who they were going to back.
Yeah, I got you.
It was our attempt to try and increase voter turnout. So hopefully we
Look
did
at you
something.
doing this in the world.
Yeah, but
You kind of
as a whole,
kind of bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Garbled Podcast?
oh, man.
So you did say you was drinking and everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
was it the conversation would get garbled after so many drinks? Just
Well,
like,
what was the first one?
it was so stupid.
It was
really
But
bad.
we thought this was awesome.
We thought this was going to be Baldy Locks or some shit like that.
I get it.
Right,
Yeah.
because we had swapped and it was us. And then we started thinking about it and I was like, that's a horrible fucking idea.
Yeah, it also doesn't back what we talk about, and that's when we started talking about what do we talk about. And because it's different every week, and because we don't necessarily know ahead of time what we're going to be talking about, we do some research. We are a professional podcast, so I want to put that on.
Unlike
But no, it was actually, it's funny because you went with Ramblin' and we were like, we're all over the map. What's some like words that mean that? And garbled is one of them, where it's just sort of...
Yeah, we actually just like opened up a thesaurus
Yeah.
and we're like...
See, that's some smart motherfucking shit right there. I mean, I told you a lot of
we got a book.
I was just like, I'm a random motherfucker. I want 3 R's in my logo or my title. So there you go. Random Ramblings with Rob. There it is.
That's perfect.
Because I had no other intentions or names for the show other than that. I was just like, I put it down. I was like, 3 R's. What can I put? Random. I ramble. Rob. Hey, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
And it's been that ever since.
Nice.
3R show is just an abbreviation of that. It's 3 R's, random Rob. There you go.
It's good branding, man.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. I'm surprised you're not wearing a 3R shirt.
Oh, well, right now I'm wearing a Colt 45 t-shirt. There's a local podcast here in Houston. They review cult movie classics and some of the new stuff, which you have to subscribe to their Patreon to do so. So search Colt 45 on patreon.com and support the show. It's a great show. I love it a lot.
Do you see how I let him into that? You see how I did that?
Yeah, now you
Yes.
just
Man,
did that
I'm
for our
smooth.
show.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'll think about that.
That's how it happens. It always happens like that when you're on somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
Because it's a running thing when I go. You're gonna laugh when I tell you the title. It's a podcast that I frequent sometimes called the Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks Podcast.
Well,
Why didn't we come up with that? Why didn't we come up with that?
Okay.
They do a live broadcast every week. It's a great show. I like those guys. Mike, Travis, and I think sometimes they have Matt on there and Drunk. All those people, they form the Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks internet radio broadcast. So
That's amazing.
I would go on there and we'd just be talking, and then like, when you have programmers sometimes, you have a little lull in the conversation to where it kind of get that little awkward silence.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always plug my sponsor right then and there. They'd be talking about some shit, and I'd just be like, but know what you could do to enhance that, right? You can use some hooks, rubs, and spices. Go to Etsy.com and look up hooks, rubs, and spices. And I do that shit all the fucking time, and they be getting mad as fuck, and I don't give a damn. You shouldn't interview me on your goddamn show.
I've listened to the different ways that a bunch of different podcasters do it. You have some that'll do it like at the very beginning, like you do.
Yeah.
You have some people who throw it in the middle. You have some people who throw it in the end. It's funny.
I like trying to weave it in, like
Weave it into the conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, I like when that happens, when it's what it organically happens. And I started doing it at the beginning of the show because, we're doing this whole interview right now. And then when we get to the end, I'm a end cap it. It'll be me by myself, kind of recapping the interview, doing the plugs and all kind of stuff like that. Once the interview is over, a lot of people tune out.
Right.
And you really don't listen to the end a lot of times. And what I find myself doing, because I'm a random motherfucker, I would put prizes at the end of the show and not say nothing so I could see who was really listening.
Nice.
So I'd be like, hey, I got this digital copy of this movie. You can have it for free. Or I'd be like, if you say this code word in my DM, I'll give you a free shirt or some shit like that, just to see who would stay around to the end. And I'll do random shit like that.
I feel like we're gonna steal that.
You mean procure?
Yes.
Procure, yes.
Yes. Appropriate. I like that.
Hey, man, don't be appropriating my code.
Well, when he does it, it's appropriation.
Right,
when I
right.
do it, it's procuring.
When you do it, it's appreciation. You do it, it's appropriation. Yeah, we talking to you side of the couch as I look at you.
Yeah. I understand who that was for. I totally understand.
I was just emphasizing. I was just making sure.
Do you have a drinking game?
Huh?
One of our listeners who I love to death
Yes.
came up with a drinking game because we drink while we're doing the podcast a lot of times. So
Yeah, I heard a little. Give me the details.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Look it up.
Talk amongst yourselves.
And this episode is brought to you by.
Yeah, you don't have no merch? Go ahead and plug your merch.
But by Nerdtino coming to the Philadelphia area, North Philadelphia.
November 7th.
November 7th.
Of 2020.
2020. One-day con.
It's a one-day con. It's $20 in advance. And, we're going to be giving away some tickets for that as we get closer to it. All right, I have it pulled up now.
Oh, yeah. Let me put me on.
Okay. All right. So, Garbled Podcast drinking game. Take a shot every time Ramon mentions Dune. Ramon mentions any of his 37 ethnic backgrounds.
Yes, man. We would have been drinking already, man.
By the way, that's why I got a glass this time. And not
I don't even take shots. I just start drinking the whole show.
Yeah. Right.
Ramon gives a science fact. Ramon mentions he isn't American. Nick makes
which for clarification,
I'm not an American,
but legally,
you're
talking to an ICE agent.
Hey, no. Security for the building.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Okay. Continue.
Nick makes a sports reference.
True.
Nick makes a cheesy joke.
Everyone's
Shit,
just
drunk already.
Yeah.
Nick
hospitals fill up during this drinking game.
Nick mentions technology in any way. Nick calls Nick calls Ramon out on his bullshit. Chug a beer, can or bottle every time someone gets on a soapbox. Mentions they are drinking during the podcast. Is audibly vaping or vape is mentioned, and mentions cosplay. So that is the garbled drinking game.
Dude, I just listened to episode 1 of season 3, and I would have been a drunk bastard.
Yeah. Which is why I love those and want them framed and like on letterhead or whatever we're gonna do with it, because they are amazing.
Yeah,
they like.
Hey, come here. I got a random kid in here.
Oh. Well, hello, random child.
I'm the youngest.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Here. You want to say hey?
Oh, it helps if you can hear us. Hi.
Hello. Which one is this?
The youngest.
Hi, Bianca.
Shania, youngest.
The Shania.
Shania. Why did I say Bianca?
You're cut off.
I haven't even been drinking.
Bye, Shania.
All right, be gone. Yeah. It's just a part of the show now. I'm just like, fuck it.
Yep.
I used to get mad when they knock on the door, they come in, and I just be like, I'm recording, I'm trying to be a professional and shit. Yeah. And then I listen to the content of my show, and I'm like, I am tripping over nothing. So I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a friend who takes his kid to the recording studio, and his kid will just like play while they're recording. So I feel you.
Oh, no. I wouldn't do that.
Well,
but
I mean okay. Yeah.
Not. You talking about like not in the room, like
not
where
in the room?
Yeah.
No, like he's hanging outside the recording area.
Yeah.
I get that. That's cool.
He gets tablet time, and we all record. So.
Yeah, I mean, shit. When I was doing the edit for the episode with I called old boy a snack.
You have to give context.
I did a recording like this, and my wife just walked in or whatever, and I put that on Instagram. I thought that was pretty funny. Added the Metal Gear Solid alert. It was like, because she was waiting on me. We were supposed to go. I think we was going to do some family shit or whatever, and I just snuck up here real quick to record the outro, and she just busted in the room like, "Hey, thought we was ready to go." I was like, let me finish this. I'm sorry. So,
which makes for a perfect outro, by the way. And you've been listening to I Gotta Go.
Yeah, just hear and see me get murdered by my wife.
Happy wife and all that.
Yeah. So we got the origin story and everything, and the outstanding drinking game that you should be printing out and putting on cards and sending out.
Well, yeah,
that's coming.
That's coming. We were thinking about doing that, like for like our Patreon subscribers, where we'll print out a copy and send them out. send it out to them with maybe, a gift.
Which you can find more information about that on GarbledPodcast.com.
Garbled Podcast.
GarbledPodcast.com, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just reading your advertising in the background.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So,
You can scan this barcode if your smartphone can do that out of video.
I wonder if this. No, I'm about to try it right now.
Try.
Oh, word.
Here you
It
go.
works.
I want to see if this works.
See if it works. Oh shit! It worked.
Oh! All right, folks.
Look. See.
Nice.
SoundCloud.
It took
SoundCloud.
It took. Okay, I got to fix that QR code.
Yeah, it took me to your SoundCloud.
That's good.
Now I have to sit like this. So I can make sure.
Garbled Podcast. Garbled Podcast.
Woo!
Oh, technology. QR codes don't. Advertisers are shying away from it. They say people don't use it. I disagree, and you can prove it by just
Scanning that
scanning
code right
this
there.
code.
This will be played all throughout my social media, so people can just try it.
Yeah.
Because I just did it across Skype through a camera with my phone, and it worked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and if
Did you-
if I keep doing this, then it becomes an interactive game to see if you can pause it
You
at the
gotta
right time.
try to like whack-a-mole. Almost.
Yeah. It works
Did y'all
for
try
TikTok.
That blue card.
Oh no, we haven't tried Blue Card yet. I'm in the middle of setting all of that stuff up. I finally got us a link tree. Like every year, as we start a new season, we just up it up a little bit. Like Dan really gave me some perspective when we did that episode with Dan. I realized I'm like, damn, we really did step up our technology. Like when we started this thing, we were recording on phones. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Like you're doing right now, but we dubbed in the audio for.
Right, but now our audio's done on a little more professional setup. I think the audio quality's gone up like 100%.
Yeah.
We used to have all the. We
We
would
used to have
record.
lapel mics stuck in the bottom of a phone, just audio, no video, and then we would get the bright idea to go out to like a park,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Hold on. Did you say you put lapel microphones in a bottle?
No, in a phone. I might have
phone.
said
Oh.
I might have said bottle. I wouldn't put it past
yeah.
it.
Drink a game. You talk about bottles.
And technology.
technology.
That's a double.
There you go.
Yeah, but I think every year is and then also too what helps is like when we're talking with other podcasters, we get exposed to new ideas, and it's like, okay, well, this is obviously a really good idea. I'm going to appropriate or appreciate this.
You're going to.
I'm going to appreciate it.
That tickles me a lot.
Me too.
So I mean, you talk about taking steps and putting into your podcast to make it better or whatever. Is there anything that you feel like you're still lacking, or is some other things that you're looking to incorporate into your product?
Well, we go back and forth on format a lot because the original idea for the show is that it's garbled. It's wherever it goes, it's free form, it's free flowing. We talk for as long as the subject matter needs to be talked for.
Yeah, we have one episode that's like 3 hours long.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then we had another one. I think our shortest is probably 40 minutes because we talked it out, we got there, and that was the end of the conversation. So that's where we ended it. But we're trying to work consistency into that, and that's an interesting process, to say the least.
Yeah. And then, like, I think also too is like we're realizing that audio is not just the only format that exists. So, like, we're starting to incorporate video, and like we're putting up a YouTube channel and what. Well, we have a YouTube channel. We just haven't put.
No, we weren't as committed to the video content as we need to be. So that's this season, definitely.
Yeah, it's same with me. Year 4, here we are. We doing video and everything, and I'm not really trying to force it on people, whatever. I just kind of ask as an option. So like I set up a record date, and I'll be like, hey, would you be interested in doing video? I mean, it's not a requirement, but if it's available, that's when I would do it. Because I mean, same like you said, I really shied away from the shit, and then I just started to think about it. When you have the podcast, I think for most of us, the main priority was like, all right, we need to get that shit on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And then after that, we started finding out about Google Podcasts and Stitcher and making sure all these varied platforms. So everybody that, listens to whatever app or device can have a place to find your show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the natural evolution of the podcast. And, you're trying to get as many ears on your content. So with video, I mean, it's essentially the same thing, because a dude was telling me about YouTube Red the other day, or YouTube Premium, to where you can just turn the video on, then put the phone in your pocket, and you can just listen to the audio without it cutting out and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people listen to podcasts like that. So like
Periscope is another one where people do that.
Yeah.
Periscope
right now
still?
Periscope is still a thing.
Okay.
Periscope has become more of a gaming thing, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, and Periscope got bought out by Twitter too.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Okay.
So anytime you go live on Twitter, that's through Periscope.
Yeah. And then
TikTok. Now we got TikTok. We're going to start doing the podcast in 8-second intervals.
Now, when you say TikTok, are you going to be? Oh, you just said you're going to be doing actual content on there? Because I have a TikTok. I only use it to look at TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where we're at right now. Although you said you set one up.
I did set up a TikTok, but I don't. It's so new and so random to me, because it's basically TikTok is what was that platform before?
This TikTok was its own thing. TikTok was definitely its own thing.
But it kind of borrowed heavily from.
It was for music content. It was for music content. It was for musicians to give a real quick demo, and share it with other musicians, other content creators, and things like that. But then Vine went away, and I'm not going to remember the name of the company, but a Chinese company came in and bought TikTok, which is why the president was talking about TikTok the other day. But basically, it's filling that niche. So all the people that were sort of disenfranchised and left out in the cold when Vine got bought and shut down have migrated over. So you have this really nice mix of content creators and people who are just trying to follow trends for clout, and then also people who are trying to get promotion to their Instagram pages. And then the musicians are still there, which is really nice. One person I follow on TikTok is a drummer, and she was just on I want to say Craig Ferguson's old show. I can't think of the dude's name right now. He was in Cats.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but does anyone else?
No, because no one saw that movie.
Yeah, no one saw that movie. Anyway, so he did a whole week where he had guest drummers, and she was on there because he saw her videos, and so she got on there, and so that's still a part of it, it makes it a really interesting. It makes it a really interesting app. And if we did that, it would be short, nonsensical Vine type videos with the bent of hopefully getting people over to see other things.
So I'm weird with my likes in certain instances or whatever. So like you on Instagram, you have all these accounts that other people's content to their feed and whatever, and they get a following off of that. So whenever I see a video, I automatically go down to the bottom to see if they're giving the person who did the video credit. Then I would go to their page, and then I would like the original video there.
Agreed.
And I find myself doing the same thing on TikTok, because on TikTok is weird because you can take the audio from somebody else's video and dub it into your video to create content off of that.
Yeah.
So I'm always going down to the bottom right and pressing that little button to see if it take me to the original video so I can like the original video.
I remember. You know
Agreed.
that somebody tried to do that, like at a con, like actually, similar idea. They were trying to steal somebody else's art, essentially, and the way they got around it was they were like, "Oh no, we're just taking photos. So I'm selling these photos, and it was photos of other people's other artists' art." and had the nerve to set up an artist alley at a con and do that. And
That's insane.
damn near got his. No, I think he did get his ass beat.
Well, there was a guy that came out and he was going on. It was Snapchat. I forget what platform it was. I think it was Snapchat, and he was taking pictures with his professional camera of his phone, framed out, so it was just what he was seeing on Snapchat. And then he set up a gallery show in New York and was selling these things for like $200-300 a pop. And he knew the law. Like his lawyer gave him the okay to do this show, and people were all upset about it. And that was the whole point of the show was, well, no, I took a picture of my phone, and so that is my original content.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a smart hustle, I guess.
As a content creator, that it just rubs me the wrong way.
It's interesting, but I guess whatever terms and conditions we click to get on Skype today, they could start selling our videos here, and they'd be fine with it. But is it the right thing to do?
It'll be like that episode on South Park, the Sentai Pad. You ever seen that?
What show is it?
South Park.
South Park.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they agreed to the terms and conditions, and because nobody reads them, so it bound them to get
being a human centipede, which was amazing. I love every time they knocked on the door and they're like, "Yeah, no, you signed the terms and conditions." Yeah,
I can't believe South Park is still a thing. Was it like 25 years later?
I think that. Well, what are the Simpsons now? Because they were like,
something.
Yeah, they were like
30.
5-6 years after. It's nuts.
Yeah,
they did
crazy.
They did the South Park or the Simpsons did it episode of South Park like 15 years ago, which is insane.
That's good. Man, I used to be really into South Park.
Yep.
And then I missed a season. And they wound up making 15 more, and I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah. Well, it's not about the kids anymore.
Yeah. It really blew
It's
up.
more about Randy.
Yeah, which is when you think about it, it's the same thing that happened with The Simpsons. Like when The Simpsons first came out, it was all about the kids, and then somehow it morphed into the Homer show, and it's the same thing that's happened with South Park. It's less about the kids, and now it's more about their parents.
Oh, that's weird.
And how the parents are messing up their lives.
Yeah. Especially
that's what parents. I mean, that's what parents do. We mess up our lives for our kids, or because of our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you let them be on podcasts and.
Yeah, I just let them walk in here and be on the camera and everything while I'm trying to record a professional podcast.
And they're like, now we're famous, so that's it.
So,
I've made it. I don't need to do anything else with my life.
Has that happened to you yet? Like, have you gotten to the point where somebody, like, because it kind of happened to us, and it was weird when it happened.
like run up on you, be like, "Hey, you're that guy," or whatever.
Well, all right. So you know Dan Dinkins, right? And he's
how we
met. Stupid question.
How we met him?
Right. So like the first time that we did that he did the Blackfinity Gauntlet at J1Con, I think we were walking behind him, and he turns around on us, and he's like, "Nick, Ramon," and I'm like, "I don't know you."
He looks me dead in my face and goes, "I know that voice." And I was like, what?
Yes.
Huh? And he does.
the thing.
He's listening right now. Like,
And that, I haven't had that in person, but I've had those instances to where people would be like, they would quote something that I said on the show, and I just like, that shit would blow my fucking mind. I'd be like, what?
yeah.
What? And one, because I forget shit. So I'm like, I said that. I had to go find the episode and scrub back through the audio and shit. Oh, I did say that. All right.
The Wawa or convenience store around our way.
Yeah, I went when that was a part of my pilgrimage to the J1Con or whatever.
Yes,
it was on my list of things to do when I touched down, and I went to a Wawa. It's on my Instagram. I got a video.
You got a hoagie.
Get a hoagie. I wouldn't. Nobody privy to getting a hoagie or nothing like that. I got a pepperoni pizza bagel though, which was delicious.
Nice. As long as you just agree out of hand and you don't even have to have been to the other one, as long as you agree that Wawa is better than Sheetz, all good.
We're good, yeah.
Well, I don't know what Sheetz is, so Wawa by proxy is.
Yeah.
So Nick lived for a little bit down south, I guess?
No, you keep doing that. It's dead west. Okay, so
West Virginia.
For a little bit, I lived in.
Isn't Virginia? Wait. Correct me if I'm wrong. Virginia is in the South, right?
Virginia is.
And West Virginia is not.
West Virginia is a whole different state, buddy.
Anyway,
we got 50 of them now.
Really?
When did this occur?
Why didn't I get a memo?
Like the 1800s or whatever. I actually don't know when West Virginia was founded, but I lived in the northern part for a little while. And when you're crossing Pennsylvania, when you hit like Harrisburg area, you start to see this competing Wawa knockoff called Sheetz, which is the same idea, but they do things a little bit different. And it's just it's good. It's fine, but it's not as good.
No one's craving a Sheetz hoagie. I'll tell you that right now.
No, they will crave a Sheetz coffee. But
that sounds shit.
Yes,
shitty.
Yes,
yeah.
Could convert it over now.
Yeah, a nice hot cup of Sheetz.
If you're listening, take a drink. That was cheesy as I don't know.
Oh yes. Good
damn,
rule.
I need to run downstairs and get me some.
We'll wait.
But maybe you can hit me to it because, I mean, I only know Wawa as the name Wawa.
Yes.
What the fuck is a Wawa?
Oh, great story. So,
hold on. Let me.
Yes. Get ready for this. So the first Wawa convenience store was opened in the town of Wawa, Pennsylvania.
What?
Yes. And so when they expanded and became this massive thing, what they wanted to do was make sure that they didn't lose control of their brand, right? Like if you go into a Wawa anywhere, you should expect a certain thing, right? So what they did was they actually opened up Wawa University in Wawa, Pennsylvania, specifically for management training. So if you become a manager at a Wawa, they send you for like 2 weeks to Wawa, Pennsylvania, to like the home office in their university to learn the Wawa culture.
Wawa,
the way of the Wawa.
The way of the Wawa. Oh,
Wawa's
this is the way.
I can't remember which tribe.
Baby Wawa.
It's a Native American tribe, and the Wawa. That's why the goose is their symbol. Wawa is the name of the bird.
That I did that.
Yeah. Because I went to this thing at a work function where Wawa was the sponsor, and Wawa sponsors a lot of things locally here in Philadelphia. So we got a crash course in their history.
Word. Damn, it's just education, people. Education.
This is a deep conversation.
Riveting conversation.
I know. Thanks for that one dude that's still listening.
It's just a Wawa worth of information.
Thanks, Steve.
At this point, I feel like Wawa should be sponsoring us.
Oh, it's funny. This episode is brought to you by Wawa.
It's really not.
Shh.
Go write it.
Wawa, give us money.
Oh man. I mean, like we was kind of getting into or whatever. You're up in your game. You're still trying to hone what your format and everything is going to be and everything.
Yeah, I can't imagine why we're running long at any point in our podcast. If this is where we go off the rails.
You talked about the video content. Is there anything else as far as technology wise that you want to incorporate into your show? Because like I'm looking at my mixer sitting over here to my left, and I seen that new Rode one.
Oh,
one
that's happening. That's happening. I don't know if I should say anything just yet, but the Rode is going to become part of our ensemble.
Yeah, because it's two of them. There's the Rode one, and there's one made by Zoom. I think it's like the 8L something elemental P, whatever the fuck. But it's that one's also made specifically for podcasting, and it's like it was $200 cheaper.
Yeah, well, Zoom's really good at that, like, because we're recording this on a Zoom, obviously, but
Zoom?
We have the H6.
It's upside down, but you can maybe see it. Eh.
No, all I see is your long pasty arm.
Thank you.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it down gently. I want to fuck up the.
Yeah. Please hold.
But yeah, like I can't. What blows me away is because I don't know. Have you been in a Best Buy lately? Because like if you go into Best Buy now, they actually have a section specifically for podcasting and content creators where you can just go in, and that's how big of a thing it's become. I mean, like when we were at J1Con, we were talking about how what is it, like 700,000 podcasts a week.
Well, now I've been corrected as of my last recording is 900,000.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, and it's crazy because like you have more and more. You have celebrities that are starting their own podcasts. It's and one of the things that I like when we were doing this, I said to Nick, "There's 342 million Americans. If we get 1% of that, that's 342 people."
He's like, if we get Joe Rogan numbers.
Yeah, y'all did math and start doing formulas and shit, and I'm just like,
The Excel spreadsheet I have on this is nuts. It's actually blank. I haven't done one.
So I mean, for you, I mean, you I know you always saying that you would have these long, lengthy conversation over drinks and camaraderie and everything, and you was like, why shouldn't we record this? So I mean, now that you're doing it, you kind of finding a groove and whatnot. I mean, do you see a potential or a need to reach out and make Patreons and try to generate cash from your content?
It would be nice. It would be nice. Right now, it's a passion project, like anything. You know what I mean? Like this is my. I hate to say it, but podcasting has become a hobby. So it's like any hobby that you're into, you're going to put money into it, right? Like you have people who collect cards, or you have people who work on their car. That's your thing. So this has become our thing.
Yeah, and monetizing it, definitely. I mean, there's some things in the works to monetize this and maybe other projects as well. This is the nucleus, I think, of anything else we're trying to do or monetize. I think we both have that sort of dream, that stretch goal to say, at one point we're going to be able to quit our jobs and, do podcasting
full time. Yeah.
If there's, I'm sorry, was it 900,000, 800,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, other podcasts out there. I mean, the likelihood is light, but if we keep working at it,
and I feel like there's a lot of people who are getting into podcasting. Like, I know that, oh God, there's this famous New York radio show host. Angie Martinez started her own podcast, and it's a pretty dope podcast. But like, I feel like a lot of these celebrities I think Joe Budden might be like the exception to that, but it's kind of like a fad, so they're not in it for the long haul, if you will.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's happening now while we're seeing this boom and all this interest and people making equipment specifically for podcasting is just the basic thing of it all. Motherfuckers figure out they can make money off this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, monetizing it is the name of the game, right?
Because look at that road, motherfucker. It's like, hey man, let's make a freaking mixer specifically for podcasters, and here we are salivating at this bitch like, oh, I want that motherfucker right there. I want to put it on my desk and I want to touch it all crazy like.
There are settings in technology specifically for YouTube. There at CES this year, there was a television that the big technology, the thing that was really driving the tech, was the fact that the TV would rotate from landscape to portrait depending on what you were doing or viewing. So it can move on its own intuitively. It's nuts.
So that TV would have been perfect for I set up earlier.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, it's fucking crazy.
And they're already recording
By the way,
us,
if you're
so.
still listening and you're not drunk off your ass, you should be taking another drink because he was talking about technology.
You've discovered my master plan, by the way, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it's and then like right now in my garage there's a room with 4 walls that is yet to be complete that I just want to go sit in there and make podcasts in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's holding me up as far as getting newer equipment.
And I think
because I want to get that room complete and I want to get my big fucking computer so I can get the 4K stream and my goddamn i9 processor and all this other crazy crap. And
I think that's going to be that right there is going to be the difference between like the people who are getting in a podcast because like when you're rich and famous and you're starting a podcast, you don't have to worry about setup or anything. You know, someone's going to sponsor you, someone's going to come along and give you all the equipment that you need. But people like us who are like, you know, toiling away at this, like you're talking about putting together a studio. The same thing here. You know, I'm thinking about converting one of my rooms into a studio. So it's obviously we're passionate about it, and it's regardless of whether, you know, Garbled ends up becoming like the #1 podcast in the country or whatnot. I'm going to keep doing it because I've got the bug now. I got the itch, and I have to scratch.
And he's stubborn.
And I'm stubborn, right?
And he has a lovely mane of hair.
Yes, which he is trapped in this bun, which I don't approve. I like it down.
I'm not letting my hair down.
Hey man, because you might get some followers behind that or whatever.
You know, everything is for content.
They called you like 3 or different 4 islanders or whatever. You know, we got freaking Maui, goddamn Roman Reigns, motherfucking Jason Momoa.
I see none of these, but thank you.
All right, I mean, you've cosplayed as many of them, so I mean,
right?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't see it, but I painstakingly created an outfit to make it look like I do.
This guy. Shit. So, yeah, man, I enjoy it so much, and I'm in the same boat with you all, just because it's weird because we do all this work. And I can remember just taking time away from it. Not really, because I stack all these episodes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I can do family shit and work 12 hours a day.
Yep.
So when I'm not recording, I'm just sitting there like, hey, Joe Rogan. You know?
I'm going to tell you something about myself, Joe Rogan, that you might not know. I smoke rocks.
Yeah. No, and it definitely is this thing that like kind of like it invades your life. Because have you ever been somewhere and you're like, damn, I wish I had recording equipment because this is a really good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the time. That's kind of why and how I started the secondary podcast, the wrestling one. The wrestling is trash. Motherfuckers would text me all the goddamn time, be like, hey man, you seen this and this and that and this. I was like, why aren't we recording this right now?
Right.
We've been on the phone for about 45 minutes and this could have been 45 minutes worth of audio content.
Or
you
like
know?
30 minutes worth of content because you wouldn't have to sit there and type and text and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You could actually just say it.
I got a question for you. Have you seen My Name is Dolomite?
Yes.
Oh.
I didn't want to see it, but it was kind of put on in the same area that I was in, so I kind of watched it by shit. And I was like, I didn't want to watch it, but when I watched it, I enjoyed it, and it was like I like the message behind it. This motherfucker didn't give up.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm gonna do this. I gotta do this, so I'm gonna do it.
But like as a content creator, like you look at that and you're like, damn, because he did that with none of the crap that we have. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have social media. It was just word of mouth.
He created the market.
He created a market for it. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it's historically accurate.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Eddie Murphy started the whole thing. and just go with that.
Yeah. What turned me off about it to where I didn't want to watch it at first it was because I seen the previews and it was Eddie Murphy doing Dolomite, and I was just seeing all the other characters that Eddie Murphy ever did in his face, and I was just like, I don't want to watch that shit. This is gonna be like an old ass nutty professor or whatever, and it's just his voice didn't do it justice because I heard the original person, the guy, the Dolomite, Rudy Ray Moore or whatever the fuck his name is, and he didn't sound like it, so it was turning me off. And I was just like, I don't see this shit. But he turned it on while I was visiting a friend, and then it was on, and I was looking at it. I was like, huh. I got one chuckle, and then I was like, oh fuck, now I gotta finish it, you know.
And it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was real good. I just, how were you saying? His tenacity, his will to never give up and never quit, and just make shit happen with nothing, and I can respect that.
Well, it's a compelling story. That's why.
It kind of hit home or whatever. It's like I started this shit with an iPad Mini and a USB microphone in my closet, you know, and here I am, fucking cameras and shit that follow my face right now.
I was gonna say it earlier, but I was like, wow, you have a huge closet. Like that's amazing. Like it's walk-in. That's awesome.
Right. When we met you, you were like, yeah, I started this in my closet. And I'm like, damn, dude, your closet is it the TARDIS? What the?
Oh, he's down south. That everything is huge down there for like,
yeah, and cheaper. By the way.
Exactly.
Because
more inexpensive. More inexpensive is what you.
Yeah, inexpensive.
Your realtor is mad at you right now. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize, Dory.
He has a realtor.
Hey man, don't make fun of me.
No, I took a stab and I was right. That's why I was laughing.
Yeah, I'm texting my wife. She got me roughneck tickets for the XFL game.
Ooh. What's the Philly franchise? Do we have one? Do we have one? I don't know that we have one.
I know that we got the soccer league.
Yeah, the XFL is football.
Apparently, y'all don't want me here, so.
Well, XFL is new, and I think it's for everybody. So I mean, it'll be okay.
Yep. Are they still doing the nicknames like the first iteration?
Dallas Renegades, the DC Defenders, the Houston Roughnecks.
Nice.
LA Wildcats, the New York Guardians, St. Louis Battlehawks, which we play today. I hope they fucking lose. The Seattle Dragons, the Tampa Bay Vipers, and then they have Team 9. Who the fuck is this?
So St. Louis has a team. I forget which one it is. And I just remembered that Philly has adopted the St. Louis team. Because we don't have one.
Yeah, so you suck again.
Oh, we just started a whole new conversation. Reset the video.
All right. Love me. But I don't know. It's just I'm kind of upset because I gotta take my son. He got his military ball tonight.
Oh, nice.
And then the tickets that she got is for tonight, so I can't go to that and then have him over there. And I'm like, motherfucker, I gotta leave this football game to go pick him up. So I guess I missed out today.
Just tell him that he's old enough now. He can find his own way home. How old?
17. He could.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Walk off.
Just
Cut
tell
the
him.
cord.
You know what? Tell him rely on your training, and he's going to be fine.
Son, here's a compass and a token.
I don't have a distrust for my son. I have a distrust for the world around him.
Sure. No, sure. I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah. It's fucking on the news. Somebody shooting. Where? Is that Walmart? Not my Walmart.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, and we kind of talked about this on the podcast. Like, if you listen to the news and everything, like, you would think that this is the most dangerous time that we've ever lived in, and it's not. Yeah. Like,
it's not. It's just what they highlight.
People get pissed off when you say that. Like, I'm like, I was talking with somebody at a coffee house, and I was like, no, this is the safest time that human beings have ever lived in. and they got mad at me. And I'm like, why are you angry? It's like, oh, but black people in America. I was like, yes, all those things exist, but still not as dangerous as like the 1500s when a fucking boat would come into your harbor and you didn't know what they were there to do. They're coming over with pickaxes and swords, and they're there to rape and pillage. That doesn't happen anymore.
You just sitting there churning your butter and shit and
Right.
plowing your field, and the motherfucker be like, "Hey, baby, what's that? Ah, murder!"
You know what? I this morning I went out to cut down ye old tree, and when I got back, the entire village had been razed. Like it's like what? And no, we don't deal in that time now. It's if it's the best piece of advice I ever got for the news was if it's on the news, you don't have to worry about it. You just don't. There's no public service announcement on the news anymore.
Yeah, and then the news is specifically geared toward certain shit like that. I mean, you seeing the shit on the news because that's what they're out there looking for or whatever, but they don't have the guy that's feeding the homeless every other fucking day from his business and shit.
Right.
You don't have much damn unless it benefit them. You know?
Right.
Or you buy ad time for your business saying, look at the great thing I did as
Yeah.
PR.
And
nuts. It's nuts.
as a note to people, if you have to publicize what you're doing, then are you really doing it for the good of the deed? Or are you doing it for the good of you and your business?
Right.
And that speaks to integrity, and that's
that whole Instagram life, if you will. You know, like I'll be honest. I have an Instagram, but I have it because we have a podcast. Like,
yes,
if it was up to me, I would not be on any social media. Like, I have a Facebook, and I have a new Facebook because I got rid of my old one because it was. I just realized
you can't get rid of it.
You can get rid of it.
It's still there.
I mean, it's still there, but like if I wanted to, I could just delete everything and call it a day. I just don't understand how people get I did get sucked into it, but now that I know better, it's like I just don't understand how people continue with it.
Yeah, because I have the Time Hop app. You know, this.
No, what is that?
I don't know that.
It's an app you put in your phone, and it'll archive like all your social media stuff from the past.
Oh.
So like Facebook posts that I did like 9 years ago when I actually posted shit on Facebook. So it was just like thoughts that I had that I actually typed out for people on the internet to view and read. I do that now because, I have the podcast.
Right.
But it's not to the extent to where it was 9 years ago.
Like, yeah, who's reading those posts?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Well, it's there for research for when he makes it big. See, like, that's what's going to happen when he runs for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's triple R for Commander in Chief, CIC.
Okay.
RRR for CIC. That's your campaign slogan. So when you run, everyone's going to go back 9 years and look at your posts and see what you were saying back then.
So that might work against me then.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
I'm
So
more
if you archive all that, then you should be fine, right?
Because look at James Gunn.
Oh my God.
I mean, he came out on the other end of it though. But I mean, still,
He sure did because he's a great guy.
Just the fact that somebody went through all that just to put up something on them or whatever.
And that's also like a thing now, like you see that more and more now. It's like this, we were joking about it earlier. Cancel culture. It's this, you're applying 2020 logic to a
Something
time
that
before 2020.
Something in a different decade.
Right. Like I said, I said something 10 years ago that was whatever, and it was meant as a joke, and somebody reads it, and, jokes don't have, like, italics around them that let you know that they're jokes.
Or timestamps.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying about the time hop thing. It was showing me Facebook posts that I did 9 years ago, and I would read these things, and I was like, I would never, ever post anything like that today. And I intentionally take those whenever I find them or I get them in the app, and I would put that on my Twitter, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about here.
Let me preemptively apologize.
This is me from 9 years ago, and this is how I thought, and this is how I use social media.
Yeah, but I think that also shows like your evolution as a like your evolution as a person, because you can.
Which I don't think people get, that people evolve and change.
You know what?
They're just like, oh, he said it, so he means it every day, all day.
No,
for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life.
That's why I don't even know if I want to say this out loud, but like the thing with Hulk Hogan, right? Because I was watching something last night.
All right, stop the podcast. Fuck that dude.
Like the thing with
fuck that motherfucker.
Listen,
anyway,
I'm with you. No. I'm with you. I'm with
anyway,
you.
continue. That was great.
No, I was watching Raw last night, right? And Hulk Hogan was on there.
Oh, the wrestling.
Was it SmackDown? Okay.
The wrestling.
Yeah, I was watching SmackDown. Right. And he was on there. Like, they were interviewing him. And I'm like, oh, shit, people must have forgot. And then I thought about that for a second.
I didn't forget.
Oh, No, I didn't forget it, and I didn't excuse what he did and what he said. But, like, if anybody has a right to be angry in that situation, it's Hogan a little bit, because hold on, hear me out. I know it's a controversial idea, but
no.
He expected a certain level of privacy. Like, his friend, like, if anything, like, yeah, you should. Who is cognizant of the fact that there's a microphone on them 24/7?
Who? Hold on. Wait.
No. I'm not. Listen. No. Pause.
Look. I get what you're saying in that aspect. I got you there, but still.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing what he said.
It's him and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Right. Like, I'm not. Fuck them. But what I'm saying is, like, are we headed in a direction where we're completely done with privacy? You can't have private thoughts or ideas, or, you know, have you never been angry or upset or whatever?
Here's my counter to that.
Okay.
Is TMZ interested in you in any way, shape, or form?
No.
Right. So if you were, would you not expect? First off, you kind of at some point have to live your life, and you will be judged accordingly in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and it's more accessible every day to our culture. You will be judged. You know, if you're having those thoughts and speaking those things and trying to hide behind, well, I didn't think anyone was listening, then you're not being authentic. And I think that's what everybody is going for. They're going for authenticity. Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, is a persona, but it transcends that nowadays.
Yeah, Terry Bollea has these inward thoughts.
Right.
Right. And again, I'm not excusing anything that he did or said. I'm just like, his friend was fucked up in that case. And
look, you know, I was already like, fuck you when that came out.
Yeah.
But what continued and extended the fuck you was when they let him back in the locker room and he didn't give that apology. I mean, he gave an apology, but that wasn't an apology. He was pretty much speaking to your side of the argument, to where just be careful because you never know who's recording what you're saying.
He's like, I'm a cautionary tale.
Yeah, just be careful about protecting yourself and your brand, pretty much was his apology. Not apologizing that I was saying the N-word and calling a specific race out their name and all kind of other crazy shit. He didn't apologize for that. He was just like, watch your privacy. Thank you. Come again. Let me get these paychecks from WWE.
What's your best apology in this current culture? Favorite one? Ramon?
Oh, I got one. Aziz Ansari.
Oh, yeah.
His comedy special.
Okay.
The first 10, 15 minutes of him, it's just him like,
here's where I screwed up.
Sorry, folks. I could see how what I said and did looked, and you know, like, I don't know what to tell you, but he did it in such an intelligent way. He did it the way a comedian does it, you know. He made it a part of his act.
So that's interesting, because if you want to go comedian, I think the better apology, because he made it part of his act, I think the better straight apology was Louis C.K. Because Louis C.K. came out and said, hey, what I did was this, and this. What I didn't realize when I was doing this, and this was even though I was doing all the steps to get consent that I thought I needed to do, I neglected to understand my position in all of it.
Yeah.
And my ranking in all of it. And that was my failing. And he came out and said that. And I think, quite frankly, that apology, and then he took like 3 years off. Not that he wasn't opposed to time off. But now he's starting to do comedy
again.
circuits again. He's not doing specials, but he's starting to actually get out there and perform again. And I think the only reason he's getting a pass is because of that apology.
Yeah. From the info I got, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't give a shit. So, he, pulled his dick out somewhere and started masturbating.
Yes.
And nobody said nothing in the moment. Nobody was like, hey, motherfucker, put your dick away and nothing. They were just like, hey, it's cool.
Well, what happened was he qualified it. He qualified it. He would go, hey, do you mind if I masturbate right now? Because you're hot and whatnot. And they would go, I guess. And he would do it and play it off like he was doing a bit, but he was actually doing it.
Yeah.
But the problem was he was doing it with like up and coming stand-ups.
He wasn't doing it with someone that was on the same level as him.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't no regular motherfuckers or somebody with an agenda or some shit,
Right. It was people who had reached out to him for advice and stuff. And that was the part that he says in his apology didn't click with him, that he had a certain amount of power with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was where he ran into a problem.
When somebody comes to sit under the learning tree and the learning tree start jizzing all over him.
Yeah,
dropping all the sap on their head.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, or sap, as it's known.
I'll edit that in post.
Thank you. And
they come to the learning tree to sit under and gather the wisdom, and they're just getting sap dripped all on their head.
And also, if anybody ever read The Giving Tree as a kid, that gives it a whole new meaning.
A whole new, different meaning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, The Giving Tree. Yeah. I wish my soundboard was working right now. That's the one I would play my sexy music.
Justin Trudeau's was pretty good too.
So you don't have what did he do?
Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada.
I didn't see that one.
I know who he is, but I don't know what he did.
Oh, well, when he was in college, he kind of liked showing up to parties, themed parties.
Yeah, blackface.
Yeah. Specifically Arabian Night parties, where he would show up as Aladdin.
I don't know if it's because you eating some or whatever, but when he said when I said blackface, your face kind of turned up a little bit. You're like, yeah, the left side of the couch.
Yeah, I got you.
You for comedic value on the right side.
Exactly. And he came out and was like, I did not know it when I was a kid that was wrong because, and I mean essentially he said because it wasn't black.
But
yeah.
Anytime you're wearing somebody's culture as a costume.
Right. But then that goes back to your point where we were talking about how now that's a thing.
Well, it's weird.
It was probably in poor taste then, but he did it for shock value because he was a kid. But
yeah,
I cosplay, and this is a constant argument that happens in cosplay circles. Like, at what point is it that you're appropriating, and at what point are you just appreciating, to use your verbiage?
Well, the only time that you should paint your face if the person that you're cosplaying as is a color that is not of a natural tone. So if a motherfucker is blue, there ain't no blue motherfuckers walking around this bitch.
Right.
So yes, paint face blue.
Okay.
Right. Well, I like to joke around and say that I did whiteface because when I did my Lobo makeup,
See,
Appropriating aliens now.
Yeah. That one's okay. That's in the gray area. Well,
Yeah,
I wouldn't even.
You'll
not
notice
the gray
I'm
area.
not saying anything.
Yeah. Nobody
As you
gonna
should.
say shit about anybody dressed up like Lobo.
That's true. Yeah, not to their face especially.
Exactly. Yeah, but if it's a natural tone of any ethnicity that is walking this earth, do not paint your face unless they're pink, blue, or some other outlandish color like that. Because I have yet to see a human being walking around pink and blue, other than tattoos.
Give it
and that
time.
don't count.
Give it time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I identify
motherfuckers
as
tattoo their eyeballs and shit. So I mean, we're probably not that far off.
I am Smurf American, and I will be identified as such.
What'd you say now?
I said
This
I am
Smurf?
Smurf American,
A Smurf American.
Smurf
Oh
American, and you will identify me as such.
Well, that's messed up because I play a game called Ingress, and we call ourselves Smurfs. So you're just appropriating. Let me stop.
Except I'm part of that same group.
I know that. That's why I said let me stop.
Yeah, okay.
my.
We cleared that up. I'm sorry, continue.
Well, gentlemen, one of my cameras has died.
Oh.
So I think this is where we put a pin in it.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me your time and hanging with me and enlightening me. I didn't even bring up the fact that one of you has a smart ass brain and has a degree and shit, and the other one is just kind of there. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
talking about
Ramon,
you,
start
Nick.
pulling your weight.
See, you picked up what I was putting down. I was like, yeah. But before we go, other than what's pasted up there on your wall, let everybody in the audio realm know where they can find you on social media.
Okay, you can check us out. We are Garbled Podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify or any of the other streaming services where you listen to your music. We are at Garbled Podcast on all the social medias.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. You can also check out our webpage at www.garbledpodcast.com. And
Stream us anywhere you get.
stream us anywhere that you listen to music. That's pretty much it. If you go to our Instagram, the link tree is there, and that'll take you to everything.
Word. And don't forget about garbledpodcast.com.
There you go.
And if for those of you in the video realm, go ahead and hit that QR code up there in the back. It actually works. You see me do it live.
Yeah, and that'll take you to our SoundCloud.
That's right. And we still have T-shirts if you...
Yeah, that we're going to be giving away. Well, not this one because this is my Shazam.
That is not...
Yeah, but
You were unbranded.
that one.
Yeah, that one right there. So, as it is with any guest of the Random Rounds with Rob, you've been here once, so the door is always open for you to come back and freaking plug your next big thing, event, or whatever have you, or just to come shoot the shit.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us.
It was over too soon, but awesome, man. Thank you.